Objective 33. Distinguish between the male and female gametophyte in flowering plants. Well, the male gametophyte, you have the microspores that are made in the antlers, and those microspores, the anther has 4 pollen sacs, and each of them has many of the microspore mother cells, and the microspores are what makes the pollen grains. The female gametophyte, you've got the ovary with one or more than one ovule in it, and the ovule, that's got the parenchyma cells, which is like stem cells for animals. And that parenchyma cell, one of them, becomes the megaspore mother cell, and that undergoes meiosis and makes 4 haploid megaspores. 3 of them are the polar bodies. One is going to be the egg. So the female gametophyte, the embryo sac, contains 1 egg cell and then all those helper cells, or those polar bodies. So pollination is when that pollen lands on that from that anther, lands on the stigma of the carpel. If it's self-pollination, the pollen came from the same plant. If it's cross-pollination, it comes from a different plant. Fertilization is when the pollen lands on the stigma. It makes this pollen tube that goes all the way to the ovule down there in the ovary, and it goes through a pore that's called the micropyle. And you have that double fertilization that we mentioned a while ago that happens. That's where the sperm unites with the egg, and that makes a diploid zygote. The other sperm nucleus unites with the polar nuclei, and that forms a triploid 3N endosperm nucleus, and that develops into the endosperm. So that mature seed is going to have the embryo, the stored food, or endosperm, and the seed coat. And here you can see the bee pollinating. The pollen gets stuck on its little fuzzy legs, and then it goes to another flower and it touches that stigma, and so we've had pollination occur. And of course butterflies are good pollinators. Also hummingbirds are pollinators, and bats, the smaller bats, are good pollinators as well.